Good evening and morning to you. What's up, Mateo? What's cracking? Yeah, let's go. Let's go already. Let me know if you can hear me in the chat. Let your boy know. Mic check, mic check. Put some mics in the chat. Let your boy know if he's coming through loud and clear. What's good with your mic check? Mic check. 1 2 1 2. Good evening and morning to you. So I'm a little late here. Sorry to get to the party late, but I want to check out the new ISC. I haven't taken a look at it. Just grabbed the thumbnail out of it and said, let's go. Let's take a look at what they got cracking over here. But let me know. Of course, let me know if you can hear me in the chat. I need to know something, because I don't know the words of that song. Yeah. Yes, so we played Star Citizen a while back. Okay. All right, Mateo. That's what's good. Yeah. All right. You know what? We're going to go ahead and get this cracking. Get the party started. I probably need some headphones, huh? I think that'll help. Let's go ahead and kill this music.
Rivers are more than just water. They're a place to explore. They're a place to find harvestables that you can pick up. They're a place where everything is amplified versus the surrounding terrain. And the very first river will be in 317 through the hills of Microtech. Since this time last year, we started to take rivers from what was a pretty tech demo to something we could release. We thought we were ready to put this out in 316. We were pretty happy with what we had, but we still needed some more changes to bring it ready to put out into the PU. We started by doing a refactor all of our object scattering so we could have far more power and far more performance when we're distributing objects across the planet. One of the biggest things I wanted to improve as well was to increase the density around the rivers, but without increasing the global density of our objects, this was going to be difficult, which led me to work on on-demand spawn points, a system where we can pass a position to the biome builder and will automatically scatter appropriate assets at that location. We now procedurally place on-demand spawn points along the length of the river and around the basin. One of the major things that we had to add was dressing presets, which allow us to add specific objects around locations like rivers. And we also had to build the river mesh from the ground up, which involves spline mesh building, which took a long time. That did sadly mean that we missed 316, but it's all the better for it, as we've worked on all of these different interactions for the player with the rivers. For example, as of 317, you may now walk down into rivers and oceans as long as you are wearing a helmet. You may explore underwater, you keep your helmet on, you won't drown.
That's what's up.
You can now drive gravlev bikes over both oceans and rivers without just falling through and exploding. We also have harvestables around the river's edge for you to explore and collect. We also did a rework of our water caustic system, meaning that there are water caustics thrown by the river and its basin, both onto objects above the water like your ship or trees or rocks, and onto the surface below.
That's dope.
Planet Content team haven't had a full chance to take a visit of the oceans yet, so while there are assets down there, you can expect improvements in coming patches. The next big improvement to rivers is going to be fizz areas, so you can throw things into the river and watch them flow down, as well as work on the foliage shader, which is going to create more varied and seasonal foliage across our planets as well as just the rivers. In the future, what I want is for an artist to be creating a planet and say, okay, I'm happy with the elevation, let's create a river system, and for it to be done. And we're not quite at that stage yet. Each river is maybe 1 or 2 clicks, but it needs to be hundreds of rivers per planet without even thinking about it. The river in 3.17 doesn't have any missions or QT markers to find it with, so you will have to go exploring to find it, although hopefully this video has been a help.
River tech is more than just adding running water to the surface of our planets and moons. It's the collective gathering of mesh and shader, erosion and foliage, traversal over, under, and through the surface. And it's the harbinger of things like lava fields and roads and so much more. And up next on this week's show, a look at upcoming efforts to improve our reputation and hostility systems in Alpha 3.17 and beyond.
We just got done running Ninetales, Xena Threat, and Jump Town. You seem to be really enjoying these dynamic events. You're running bounty missions, you're running assassinations, all these things, and we're really excited about that. As a designer, it's pretty difficult to look at these and not see all the little things that we can do to make this better, to make these not just good, but great. And in order to do that in the near future, we're going to be implementing some new features into the reputation and hostility systems. With the current reputation system, all of your relationships to NPCs are static. That means that essentially you can't become friends with the criminals and you can't become enemies with the law enforcement. In addition, if you shoot someone, just a single bullet can make it so that everyone around you suddenly starts raining hell down upon you. And that can be a pretty awful experience.
Yeah.
We're going to be looking to address that in a multitude of ways. We're going to be looking to have reputation start driving hostility. So essentially how NPCs react to you and how you see them. As you become more and more friendly, build up that affinity with NPCs of a certain organization, they will begin to shift their opinion of you. You can actually do missions or content for Ninetales, and if you get to a certain point in their bar, they will stop shooting at you and start just letting you go by, and then eventually even start protecting you. By the same measure, if you start attacking law enforcement or committing too many crimes, after a certain point, Crusader Security is going to start hunting you down and attacking you on site instead of waiting for you to commit a crime. On the side of making it so that people don't attack you when you just fire a single bullet, we're looking at in the slightly more distant future where if you are in the green zone with a organization, if they really, really like you, then they actually have a larger threshold that you have to break over in order to cause them to want to attack you. We don't want it to be global so that players can't abuse it, but we do want it to be something that is a bit of a benefit if you go and make friends with these people. In 3.17, these changes are going to be largely invisible to players. It's really more about, at this point, giving the feature and the tools to our developers so that we can continue building the content that our players and our developers really want in 3.18 and onward. This content will enable us to, for instance, in Xena Threat, make it so that you can actually be on the side of the Xena Threat instead of just trolling other players. In addition, for Jump Town, this will help us to sort of patch some of the holes where players can exploit the system by grabbing a quick crime stat after they've already pulled out their packages and not have to actually fight people in order to get their drugs.
I've already done that.
This also enables us to take a lot of our existing content for the lawful side and make criminal missions so that there is actually content in the game for criminals to do in the long term, not just with these events. And of course, with additional dynamic events rolling out in the future, we can start building with this in mind from the start. This feature will allow us to say that this event is going to have this faction versus this faction, and players will be able to be on those sides in a much more permanent and invested fashion.
So what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that Microtech's First River is the next step forward in the systemic tools that will allow developers to bring more texture, hazard, and opportunity to Star Citizen's planets and moons. That the reputation system and its continuing development remain at the heart of enabling developers to create more meaningful and effective mission content. And that upcoming hostility changes means maybe I won't get punished so quickly when I turn a friendly hello into accidental, unintended friendly fire. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. We'll see you all next week.
Okay. All right. All right. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. And let's cut the music back on. All right. First of all, man, the biggest thing, I don't know why, because, we've seen the rivers before, but the biggest thing for me was that you can actually walk in the water now, man. How long has it been since we've been like touching water and dying like it was lava, man? That's a good thing. Thumbs up on that one, man. I like it, man. It's good. I didn't even consider that, like, when they wanted to have assets that spawn close to the river, that it would affect, by default, it would affect global density of objects. So I'm glad that they got that wrapped up. That's a good thing, man. It's a good thing, because we do not need more rocks to prevent us from getting a good drive in our ground vehicles. The lighting on these is crazy, man. It's crazy, man. It's going to be screenshot city, man. Star Citizen is already like the best place to get some good screenshots. But with the reflected lighting from the river, man, especially at the golden hour. Patch said all the bodies just floating. Would it be really cool, man? I don't know how often you'd get to actually make use of it, but some cool machinima would be you and your squad are underwater, and then you rise up out of the surface with your guns out like some Navy SEAL action, man. That'd be some hot machinima right there. That's crazy. He said that they thought they was ready to drop that in 316. I thought it was going to be a ways out. I didn't even expect it in 317. I thought that was going to be one of them way off things that we may have got at the end of the year. But man, 317, that's dope. That's dope. I know I've seen somewhere, like in some patch notes accidentally or something, that there's supposed to be watercraft. So I can't wait to see what's next. They did mention you're going to be able to float stuff down the river. They didn't say vehicles. It's mostly stuff. I don't know what that stuff could be. I don't know, man. Maybe they got some fallen trees out there. You can tractor beam into the water. Go for a little log ride. Real life log ride. Look at that lighting, man. The reflections. That's dope. Caustics. I wonder how deep. Are they all going to be shallow initially? I wonder how deep they're going to be on first release. Phaedrus 07, dig that. Learned everything I know about SC filming from you. Oh, right on, man. Right on, sir. It was a really good video. Dig that. Yeah, man. Look at that. Like, what other space games do you get this kind of foliage? Like, a lot of games you have like some nonsense flora and fauna. When I say nonsense, I mean just it looked like they just kind of threw anything together. But like, this stuff is just dope. So 317. So what are we in? Are we in March now? Yeah, we're in March now. So about the end of the month, unless things go crazy in Evo, which I don't think so. There's nothing like major that I think would cause some issues to make for a prolonged Evocati. So yeah, I think we'll get it maybe. I don't know what the end of the month is looking like as far as weeks, but I don't know, maybe about a week, inside of a week before the end of the month. That's my guess. You never know, though. You never know. Tremaine said no space game for real, other than this one. Yeah, man, no doubt. This is gonna be good. That they're gonna. I was talking with somebody about this the other day, about how you can't really join in with the bad guys because, as soon as you shoot somebody, there's no discrimination from like the Nine Tails to not shoot you. Doesn't matter if you're trying to team up with them or not right now. So now that this new addition to the reputation is incoming, then and they didn't say when. I don't know if they're shooting for 317 on that or what. But yeah, that allow you to actually feel like you're on the other side and actually play with the other side. other than just like he said, just griefing players with no real backing behind it. So that's good. That ship is getting chewed up. Oh man, what was it? I was looking at the graphic that they put out about it showed like the numbers from the last Xeno threat, like the ships that had the most kills and the most killed ships. I was kind of surprised, man, that the Connie, I think it was the Connie Andromeda, was like the big dog, like the ship that was making it happen, man. I know the Redeemer was somewhere up there. The Gladius was up there. Those was getting like the most kills. The ship that was getting killed the most was the Titan, which, I mean, in battles with all these big giant ships, that's not surprising. That's not surprising at all. I think the Gladius was also on the list of a number of ships getting killed in Xenothreat. So it got a lot of kills and it got killed a lot. I mean, it's a small ship, you know, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, Captain. But yeah, what you guys think, man? I mean, really the big thing here is the rivers, but the reputation additions are a good thing. It's a welcome thing. That way we just don't have like this one-sided confrontation. I think it's good. I think it's a beautiful thing. I don't know that there's much else to say here. Well, hey, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you. Sorry coming in so late with this one. But typically do these on Thursdays right after the ISC drops. At least that's the intention anyway. Saturday, I do some streaming too. We have some competitions on Saturdays. If you want to get in, join the Discord. This coming Saturday, we're doing bumper cars with a 100,000 credit prize. So, you know, dropping the Discord for that one. And stay tuned. I'm going to be giving away Nomad with hovercraft. So stay tuned for that too, as well as all the rest of the videos. I got some things in the pipeline waiting to get finished. So, you know, just keep up with your boy. Till next time, fly dirty citizens.